Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the Stronach Aurora Recreational Center. It's time for some U22 elite action between the visiting Etobicoke Junior Dolphins and your own Central York Junior Panthers. This is game 13 of the regular season. They're coming off a nail-biter of a win last Sunday, 5-4 over the visiting Ottawa 67s. And this one has been on my calendar for quite a bit because it is Central York versus Etobicoke. And Etobicoke, always the one that the U22 elite teams are shooting for, as they almost notoriously are holding down #1 spot. The Central York Junior Panthers are sitting 4 points behind, so even though they can't overtake first place today, they can sure close the gap. My name is Cheryl Gilroy, along with my partner today, James Battaglia. We're so happy to have you on the stream here this afternoon in Aurora, Ontario. You know what? Things are getting crispy and chilly outside, and the heaters are finally on inside, so I don't have to stand here and chatter my teeth while bringing you the call. But this is going to be exciting. I'm so happy I could be here today and bring you this action. There are 6 other games happening around the league today. OHA is visiting Waterloo. Burlington is visiting Mississauga. Whitby is visiting Nepean. East Ottawa is visiting Barrie. Durham West is visiting the Ottawa 67s. Cambridge is visiting North York. And Kingston is visiting Leaside. Pardon me, there are 7 games going on around the league besides the one going on today. Etobicoke, they are coming off a win just 2 days ago. They played the Mississauga Hurricanes, and they beat that one. They beat the Mississauga Hurricanes very decisively by a score of 6-1. The top 10 standings, we're just under 4 minutes here in warm-up. The top 10 standings in U22 Elite. Again, the Etobicoke Dolphins are in first place with 37 points. Central York on their heels with 33 points. The Nepean Wildcats with 31 points. The Barrie Sharks have fallen to 4th place with 28 points. Kingston Ice Wolves with 27. Cambridge in 6th place with 24. The Toronto Leaside Wildcats tied with Cambridge with 24 points. In 8th place, Stony Creek Sabres with 24 points as well, so there's a 3-way tie there for 6th place. In 9th, the Burlington Barracudas with 23 points, and rounding out the top 10, there's a tie. Whitby and Mississauga are tied with 21 points apiece, so things very tight in the top 10 standings. One thing I'd like to point here, I want to offer congratulations to a few of our Central York Junior Panthers who have been tapped to play in a U18 tournament, which is happening at the beginning of next month. On Team Blue, Lazarou and Hicks have been selected. On Team Red is Van Berkel, and on Team Yellow, Paisley and Martone. So congratulations to them. On the flip side, because I kind of have to be impartial here, the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins just recently put a post on social media indicating that every single one of their players has a postseason commitment, and that is fantastic news for all the ladies involved with the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. If you're at all a fan of U22, you'll be looking forward to that U18 tournament that is happening at the beginning of next month, and you may find a few familiar faces in there. Just over 2 minutes left in warm-up now. The Central York Junior Panthers are in action again tomorrow at home as they host the East Ottawa Stars, and then they go down the road on Tuesday, I believe, to take on the Mississauga Hurricanes, and that one is going to be a fun one for sure. Action for Etobicoke, they have a game tomorrow as well. They're home to the Waterloo Ravens. Starting lineup for your Central York Junior Panthers: in net today, number 30, Clara Hicks, with a record of 5-0. On defense, number 47, Ashley Miner, and number 98, Briar Deckers. On the forward line, number 12, Annabella Van Berkel, number 13, Abigail Pack, and number 21, Zoe Ordanis. Starting lineup for the Etobicoke Dolphins: starting in net, number 32, Maya St. Pierre, with a record of 5-1. On the defense, looks like it's number 18, Fiona Waddick. Number 21, Haley Box. Number 93, Maddie McCullough. Number 72, Rachel Piggott. And number 34, Megan Mossy. Just wrapping up our final minute here in warm-up. We'll get set for the national anthem, player introductions, and this awesome game that is about to happen in front of us. So stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for joining the live stream. We got some powwows happening here around the nets. All right. Players are going to line up at the goal line and we'll get set for player introductions. Number 18, Fiona Waddick. Number 34, Megan Mossy. Number 21, Haley Box. Number 72, Rachel Pickett. Number 93, Maddie McCullough. Starting goal, number 32, Maya St. Pierre. And the rest of the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. Now for the Central York Junior Panthers. Number 47, Ashley Miner on defense. Also on defense, number 98, Briar Deckers. On the forward line, number 12, Annabella Van Berkel. Number 13, Abigail Pack, and number 21, Zoe Ordanis. And starting in net for the Central York Junior Panthers, number 30, Claire Hicks. Now time for our national anthem. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome inside the Stronach Aurora Recreational Center here in beautiful Aurora, Ontario. We're set for game action. It's getting rowdy, it's getting noisy. We're ready for face-off, and on the face-off dot is going to be Van Berkel versus Pickett. The goalies are set to go, the referees are set to go, the players are set to go, and we are all set to go here, and the puck is down, and we're underway in period number 1. Game 13 of the regular season for the Central York Junior Panthers. Center York tries to get their first kick at it, but they can't maintain control of the puck, and that is going to be called really quickly on a hand pass. Not even or barely 11 seconds into the game. We'll have a face-off just outside the Dolphins' end. Van Berkel squaring off again versus Piggott. It'll come into the Dolphins' end, and they'll pass that puck around and see if they can't exit the zone. Van Berkel holds the line and sends it down behind the goal line. Ordanis chasing it against Fiona Waddick. They'll battle for it in the near side corner. Center York tries to pull it away and get it out in front. Defensive lines have now changed for Center York. And the forward lines are now changing. The puck comes to neutral, and Telesnik will dump it down in. Back to the near side corner we go. Mossy is going to be chasing Paisley. Paisley trying to backhand and get it out as she rings around the far side boards. It's picked up by Megan Mossy. She'll look at her alternatives and sends it to the far side. There'll be a bit of a trip there. Looks like that McCullough took a trip, but no call. Just kind of incidental contact. Into the slot area. Central York trying to feed it forward, but the Central York Junior Panthers can't hold the line, and box for Dolphins. Get it away and into the Central York end. Caitlin Clark trying to move it to Shapira. She'll carry it out, trying to feed it out to Johnson. Puck will go up and down and skip behind the net. Venucio trying to chase for it for Etobicoke. Frasca can't quite hold the line. Ishmael nearly getting a runaway, but Frasca jumping on that puck quickly and getting it back down into the Etobicoke end. A lot of action here on the Etobicoke side. Here's Ishmael. Long pass up for Van Volsen. She cuts in, tries a backhand, intercepted by Johnson as Ishmael goes hard into the boards. Etobicoke still on the hunt here. This is Bishop. Ringing around the boards, trying to get it out in front. Central York trying to clear. The Dolphins hold the line for now, sending it back down. This is Frasca again, ringing around the far side boards. Dolphins trying to center it up. Light touch there right in front of the crease, but the Central York Panthers are right there to get it out of harm's way. Big turn for the Dolphins as they try to bring it into the zone. Still looking for a shot on goal. This is Sydney Bonus. Over to Bishop. Bishop looks for the board. And the other Bishop out on the blue line. Shot in. Save by Hicks. And the Panthers will clear. Bishop down behind the goal line. Sends it to the near side for Waddick. Waddick trying to feed out in front for the other Bishop. They'll battle for it on the near side corner on the boards. Piggott trying to help out her teammates, but it's right back to the defense. Right out in front for Janowski. Loose puck. She couldn't get it to the forehand, unfortunately. Here comes McCullough through the middle. Trying to get around Decker. Shot in and a great save by Hicks. That's her first good save of this contest. Mossy holds the line, gets it into the slot, but it's steered aside on the near side post. Far side. Venucio holds the line. In the crease, nearly an opportunity for McCullough, but she couldn't get her stick on the backhand fast enough. Out in the slot again to Lesnick, and Deckers get on that puck and will clear it. Icing is waved off. Venucio behind her own net. She'll drop pass for Megan Mossy. Picked off by Paisley, trying to get it out in front. Clark Johnson looking for a pass. It doesn't come. And here comes Haley Box. She's all by herself. She'll wait for reinforcements. She'll flip it towards Hicks, who makes it easy, safe. It's going to get picked up by Triffon. Out in front. Lang at the blue line, holds it. Ishmael trying to cut in, but it goes off to Rushbler. Rushbler can't find a way to get a shot off, and it trickles into the slot. Telesnik finds it, releases the pressure, and it comes out to neutral. Devin Lang sends it forward, back to Ishmael. Ishmael looking for a player to pass to. It comes to the crease. Van Volsen couldn't put a stick on it, and here comes Van Berkel with Ordanis with her. Tries a backhand tip. That nearly worked. Don't know if St. Pierre got a piece of that. but needless to say, it did not hit the back of the mesh, and play continues. Abby Pack trying to backhand it forward to Ordanis. She finds Cody. Cody lifts it over, tries to chase after it. Ordanis off to the bench for a line change. Busy first 5 minutes here in the opening frame. Lazarou tries to cut that one off, but it doesn't work. Here comes Vakari. First time she's touched the puck. Near side corner. Shapira sends it out to Lazarou, but not out. Shot in from the blue line, trickles in. Frasca gets a piece of it, and will get to the blue line again, but not out, as Waddick holds it and sends it down deep into the near side corner. Handing it off to Megan Mossy. It goes up and down. Janowski trying to find it to get it out. Mossy right on it, and what a great heads-up save by Claire Hicks. Finally, we get a whistle and a chance to catch my breath. That was a very busy 5.5 minutes. No score in the opening frame with 14-13 remaining in the first period. Piggott to square off against Johnson. Etobicoke Dolphins have it after the draw. They'll bring it around behind the net and try to get it out in front. Johnson makes a turn, tries to get a handle on that puck and settles it down. Sends it to the far side for Lewington, who chips it off the boards and into the neutral zone. And Trifon is waiting, trying to feed Johnson, but it trickles just to St. Pierre. A bit of a collision happening there right in front of St. Pierre. No penalty coming. Still no score here in the opening frame. Face off to the right of St. Pierre. Johnson to take the draw versus Piggott. Behind the net. Dolphins defense try to clear it out from behind the goal, and they will get it to the far side. This is McCullough. Fans on the pickup, and it will trickle down in front for Box, but it's picked up by Ashley Miner. She'll backhand it over to Briar Deckers. She'll look at her teammates, gets it out to the neutral zone. Ordanis a shade behind, can't quite collect that puck with full force. It's going to come down to Piggott back in the Dolphin end. Now behind the goal line for Bishop. Bishop to the far side for McCullough. Nearly a pick-off for Van Berkel, but McCullough with some force down the far side comes in and tries to deke around the defense. Stick was lifted so she couldn't get a shot off. Both the Dolphin and the Panther are forced off the puck, and it comes out to the blue line for Bishop. She'll fire it in, and Hicks with a great save. Just under 13 minutes to go here in period number 1. No score. Face off to the left of Hicks. The puck manages to get towards the goal, but not in, and the Panthers will escape with it. Here comes Lazarou, tries to center it for Shapira. Doesn't quite work, and they're behind the net. Still trying to get it out in front is Paisley. It's going to be picked up by Ishmael, but only briefly. Central York will chase for it behind the goal line. Lazarou trying to force her way onto the puck. It will come all the way back to neutral, and Caitlin Clark's going to have to chase for it with Van Volsen right on her heels. Paisley up over everybody and down, and that will trickle past the goal line, and that will be an icing call against the Central York Junior Panthers. Lewington's going to head to the bench. Now we got the right number of people on. Caitlin Clark tries to find it after the draw. It reaches the blue line, but not out. Trying to center it are the Dolphins. They shoot, but it hits a couple of bodies, and it doesn't meet the target. To the near side for Mossy. She shoots, and again, Hicks with a great save. Hicks being the busier goaltender here in the last couple of minutes. It was all in front of the Etobicoke netminder in the early going. Now as we approach the halfway point, it seems like it's tilting towards the Central York end, but we'll see how the first period plays out. There's still no score. Mossy tipping it over to Bishop. Bishop making a turn and sends it down deep for Vakari. Vakari looking for bonus out in front, but goes to the blue line instead. Shot in, goes past the far side post. Panthers trying to gain possession in their own end. They do get forced backwards. Here's Trifon. Trifon looks, sends it to Cody, who tips it to Johnson, right back to Cody, and up to Lewington. Lewington will chase it. Megan Mossy gets there first, though. She'll use her energy and push her off the puck, and the puck will escape and will come all the way down into the Panther end. No icing. Minor to Van Berkel. She loses the handle. Pax tries to send it back to Van Berkel, but Piggott for Etobicoke pushing it forward. Etobicoke enters it offside, and it's incidental contact with Haley Box, so the referees are going to whistle that one dead. Just over 11 minutes here left in the first period. Piggott's going to square off against Van Berkel. Off the boards. Van Berkel trying to cut in and get it out. Over to Bishop for Etobicoke. She sends it in. Easy save there for Hicks. She'll hand it off to Ashley Minor and up to Ordanis. Here's Abby Pack. She's tripped up over the blue line, so Etobicoke will steal that puck away. Back to Briar Deckers. That goes by everybody. Icing waved off. Out to Van Berkel. She's got some space trying to get around Fiona Waddick. Doesn't help. Back to Box in neutral zone, and now McCullough. She'll look to pass it back to Box. Shot in there for Hicks, and she steers it aside. Mossy goes by her. Waddick is going to go chase for it in the near side corner. She's being chased, unfortunately, by Paisley, and she touches it too hard, and that is going to be a penalty against the Central York Panthers. Megan Mossy continuing with it with the goaltender out and the extra attacker. Shot in by Hicks. Etobicoke still with the extra attacker and still in possession of the puck. They'll fire. That goes past the far side post. Central York finally touches it up, and the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins will get their first crack at a power play. Lily Paisley called for the trip. She'll sit in the sin bin with just under 10 minutes to go here in the first. Puck will escape, and Johnson finds the puck and gets it down. Venucio collects herself behind. She's going to hand that puck off to McCullough. Over to Van Volsen. She tries to pull it in off the boards. Briar Deckers catches up to that puck before Van Volsen does in the near side corner. They'll battle for it in a heap, and the referee is going to put a stop to that. 30 seconds have expired. Almost 30 seconds has expired of that power play. We'll have a face-off to the left of Claire Hicks. Van Berkel versus Rushbler. We'll run the boards to the far side for Pack, who gets a piece of it. Doesn't come over the blue line, though. Centering pass. This is Ishmael. Ishmael looking for an alternative. Now at the point for Venucio. To the far side for Mossy, and right back to Ishmael. She'll step in, hands it down low to Rushbler. Ishmael takes another pass, sends it back to the point for Venucio. Venucio through traffic. Hicks sees it all the way and makes a great stop. Another face-off here to the left of Hicks. It's going to be Shapira versus Vakari. Dolphins have it after the draw. Mossy to the far side. Down low, looking out in front, sends it behind the net instead. Vakari to the far side for bonus. They play catch a little bit behind the net, finally handing it back off. Back down low. Trying to get it out in front and see if they can't find a free angle. Mossy shoots. Hicks with the save. Venucio and Megan Mossy change places. Back to Venucio. She fires. And Hicks has that. Puck still loose. It's still out there. Dolphins try to clear it out in front so they can get another shot. Panthers want to clear it out of the zone. 20 seconds remaining in the power play. Pressure here by the Dolphins. Megan Mossy back to the far side and fire to Vakari, and she finds the top right corner, and the Etobicoke Dolphins will have a power play goal and go up 1-0. Excuse me, that wasn't Vakari, that was number 86, Bishop. So nothing happening on even strength. It took a power play for the Dolphins to get on the board. We'll see how the Panthers respond. Have to watch the penalties if they can. Central York brings it in. Can't get a handle on it, so they'll have to retreat back out. Haley Box now in possession of that puck as they come across that blue line. Behind the goal. Piggott now coming around. Now we're back to 5-on-5, and it actually looks very much like a power play as they hold possession of that puck. Central York can't steal the puck away and get it out. Caitlin Clark backhanding it to the near side. Puck trying to find Lazarou, and they can't get it out. Trying to come in at point blank range. Take a couple of swipes at it. That was Haley Box, but in comes Lazarou. She fires, and a save by St. Pierre, and she has not touched that puck in a while. McCullough will dump it down. Panthers will chase. This is Ashley Miner in the near side corner. To neutral, over to Waddick. She finds it before Johnson does. They'll battle for it here in the neutral zone. Puck will come up and down. Ishmael finds it. She'll weave around everybody and tries to cut into the slot, looking for Rushblur. Over to Megan Mossy. Lots of ice time for Mossy. Cutting in is Ishmael. She'll fire. That hits a body. Comes to neutral. Ishmael's going to give it a chase. Lewington right on her heels, but she can't get there before she passes it off to Megan Mossy. Far side for Fiona Waddick. Misses the pass. In come the Panthers. This is Cody, to the far side for O'Danis. O'Danis trying to cut in, but she's pushed off the puck. Comes back into the far side corner. Etobicoke giving it chase, and they want to clear that puck out. Now enjoying a 1-0 lead here. Frasca grabs that puck and tries to cut in. That's immediately steered away, and she can't come into the zone with it. St. Pierre sends it to the far side. Van Berkel finds it, looks for her teammates. Can't find somebody to pass to. Bishop sending in the middle for Captain Vakari. Back to Megan Mossy in the Etobicoke end. Up in front for Bishop. She trips on the ice and can't quite handle the pass. Caitlin Clark finds it, sends it to the far side. Couple of bodies collide as the Panthers try to clear it out. It does come out over that blue line. Vakari sending it right back in. Hicks leaves it for Telesnik. Telesnik around the near side corner, but not out. Vakari sends it out in front. Hicks with the toe save. She had to be careful as that trickled in right in front of her. Lang sending it down deep. Caitlin Clark behind the goal line. And Janowski loses a handle as she crosses the blue line, and she leaves it for Lazarou. She's got Shapiro with her, fires just over the crossbar. Out to Miner. She sends it through traffic. St. Pierre with the save. Dolphins bring it down the near side corner, and they will dump. And that will be icing against the Etobicoke Dolphins. We are under 4.5 minutes to go here in the first period. The only difference is a power play goal for the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. Central York has yet to get their first chance at a power play. Maybe that will change, maybe it won't. Miner trying to hold on to that puck after the draw. Central York in possession behind the net. Lewington pushed off. And that one's going to get whistled dead. Probably due to a hand pass. I didn't see a sign, but I think that was a hand pass. Everybody's going to change up lines here, so fresh paws out for the Central York Panthers. Van Berkel on the draw for Etobicoke, for Central York. Looks like we're going to set up and do that one over again. Back to the blue line, but Cody can't hold on and it trickles over. Panthers have to regroup. Fans on the shot. Ishmael with a bit of a breakaway. So Wade tries the backhand. Hicks with the save. Oh my goodness. Central York has come to play. They want to go nose to nose with these Dolphins. Cat nose to dolphin nose. It is surf versus turf in this battle for the top spot here in U22 Elite. Puck will escape and come all the way back down. Shapira trying to chase after it. Waddick has it. She'll send it over to Bishop, and she takes off the pressure. Telesnik finding it at the blue line, trying to drive the net. Central York's going to want to get an equalizer here before the end of the first period, and they are giving it all they have. Trying to cut in, now in the slot for Clark. She fires, hits too many bodies, and it will come out to the blue line. Panthers were offside momentarily. Here's Bishop again. She'll hit the brakes. Sending it down deep. Trifon trying to intercept. Still in possession are the Dolphins. Shot goes off, but it's deflected. It comes up and down. Now it's going to go behind. This is Sydney Bonus. Now Kira Johnson for the Panthers trying to free herself from the Dolphins on her heels. Cutting in as Bishop. What a deke. But what a great toe save by Claire Hicks. Johnson out to Mossy. She fires, and what a flash of the leather by Claire Hicks to keep this one 1-0. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the first period. Again, the only goal is the power play goal by Etobicoke. No scoring has happened at even strength. Pickett versus Van Berkel. Sends it around. Mossy is upended by Deckers. Puck will come into the near side corner. Picked up by Van Berkel. Panthers want to clear it out. Ordanis can't gather it. Ashley Miner finds it and pokes it off the boards, trying to find Van Berkel. It'll come into the near side, down in the Etobicoke end. Out in front, and now into the neutral zone, all the way back into the Central York end. This is Frasca, up to Ordanis. Ordanis, up to Paisley. Paisley making a big turn, sending it down to Cody. Cody tries to center it, looking for the tip off of Lazarou. Can't find her. Paisley back into the slot, fires, and this time it's a flash of the leather for St. Pierre. We're under 90 seconds to go here in the first period. 1-0 Etobicoke. Once again, the Panthers are back in action here tomorrow afternoon as they welcome in the East Ottawa Stars. Dolphins have it after the draw. They fan on the passing attempt. Shapira capitalizing on that. It will come out. Panthers making a turn. Paisley can't hold on. Jumps right onto Langstick. Back behind the net. Up to Ishmael. Ishmael looking for the cross pass for Van Volsen. Finds her, and it will trickle in for Claire Hicks, and she'll put the glove down for a stoppage in play. We're in our final minute of play in the first period. Rushler will take the face-off for the Dolphins against Kira Johnson. Etobicoke finds the puck after that. Lewington with the challenge. It will drop past to Johnson, and it will clear out to the neutral zone. Van Volsen finding it immediately and handing it off to Ishmael. Telesnik getting in the way of Ishmael and handing it off to Trifon, but she can't hang on. Here's Ishmael. Ishmael coming along the near side as she cuts in over that blue line, weaves around Johnson, fires, finds the top left corner, and it's 2-0 Etobicoke. Scored by number 10, Sophia Ishmael, and that will be her 9th goal of the season. And yes, that was even strength. So 1 power play, 1 even strength, and the Panthers find themselves down by 2 as the seconds tick off of the first period. They'll have to regroup here in the intermission and see if they come out and get one on the board quickly in the second. Megan Mossy over the red line, cutting in. Behind the net. Seems like it's all Dolphins now here in the latter half of the first period. Still in possession of that puck. Fiona Waddick finds it at the blue line, sends it down deep. They'll battle for it in the near side corner and back out to the blue line. Miner and Johnson chasing, shot in by Sydney Bonus, and that's how this one is going to end after 20 minutes. 2-0 Etobicoke Junior Dolphins with a power play goal and an even strength goal. And the Panthers will have to find new life here as they come into the second period. We'll take a Zamboni break. I'll come back in the second period and bring you the out-of-town scores. And of course the second period. Come on back. Well, hello, Panther fans, and welcome back to the Stronach Aurora Recreational Center. We're getting set here for period number 2. Now, I did take a look at the out-of-town scores, and there's only one game that's in action currently, and that is OHA taking on Waterloo, and that game is 2-0 right now in favor of the Ravens. Burlington and Mississauga are just about to get going. Whitby versus Nepean and East Ottawa versus Barrie get going between 4:20 and 4:30. So it looks like I'm not going to have any scores for them, just the first two. So I will definitely bring you up to date on those after the second period. This one, it's 2-0 right now in favor of the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. 1 power play goal and 1 even strength goal. And the Panthers will look to get on the board here in the early going of the second period. Once again, these girls are back in action here tomorrow afternoon, 1:25, as they welcome in the East Ottawa Stars. Welcome back into the arena, folks. I forgot to take my graphic on. I was off. I was still busy talking to all the out-of-towns. I forgot to bring out the graphic. Sorry about that. All right, buzzer sounds here at the end, and we'll get 20 more minutes back on the clock here for second period. Set for face-off. It's Van Berkel again versus Rachel Diggett. Everybody ready. Music's off. Cody will find that puck first and send it down into the Etobicoke end. The Panthers now are skating left to right, while the Dolphins are skating right to left. McCullough sending it forward. In come the Dolphins. My goodness. Haley Box with a bit of a breakaway, and she puts it underneath Hicks, and it's 3-0 with not too much off the clock. So once again, an even strength goal for number 21, Haley Box, and that will be her 13th of the season. And it looks like the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins have a bit of a hold here on this game so far, but you know what? Don't count the Panthers out. Think positive thoughts. They can go nose to nose with the best of them, as we've seen so far. Lily Paisley making a turn, sending it forward, trying to find Elizabeth Janowski. She'll try to backhand out in front, but that doesn't work to Shapira. Box still on the ice, trying to feed it forward for McCullough. We'll have a stoppage of play here behind the nets. Assist on that one is McCullough. Rushborough will face off against Kira Johnson, just in front of the Etobicoke bench. That's won by the Panthers as they try to move that puck forward. In come the Panthers, trying to center it. That's Ashley Miner. Back to Triffon at the blue line. Deckers tries to send it in, but it hits Van Volsen's shin. Rushborough picks it up behind the net, and the Dolphins will clear the zone. Van Volsen trying to gather it away from Lewington. Looking for Rushborough and looking for the tip-in, but she'll hold on to it. Van Volsen will send it to Ishmael. Ishmael trying to cut around Lewington. Down behind the goal line. Decker's on the job behind the net. Panthers want to clear it out. Ishmael off the boards. She'll cut in and leave it for Venucio. She'll send it in, looking for the tip as Van Volsen, and it works. It somehow tips past Hicks. And the Dolphins are now 4-0 in head of the Panthers. It looks like that goal, I believe that's Van Volsen with the tip. And if that is Van Volsen, that will be her 8th goal of the season. Panthers find themselves in a little bit of a deeper hole than they were you know, just 2 minutes ago when the second period started, but still lots of hockey, and I've seen momentum change quickly. Van Berkel sending in behind the goal line. St. Pierre watching the post. It'll come to the neutral zone for Cody. Cody trying to feed off to Van Berkel. She's chasing after it, trying to work around Venucio to the far side. Vakari to Bonus. Bonus over the blue line. Bishop is with her. Puck will skip off the post, and that's collected rather quickly. No, stolen away from Frasca, out in front. What a point-blank shot by Sydney Bonus, and a save by Hicks. Long ice pass here for Bishop. Shoots it in, and Hicks will glove it down. Face off to the left of Hicks. Puck will squirt right towards the net, and we're going to have a penalty call. It's going to be for a hook. Telesnik getting the call, so another power play opportunity for Etobicoke. Face off to the left of Hicks, and the puck will escape the zone. Up to the red line. Haley Box winding around. Has her stick lifted, and the Panthers will take over that puck and send it down into the Etobicoke end. Trying to send it out in front. Here's Rachel Pickett trying to bounce it off the boards and feed it to McCullough. It's put right back into the neutral zone and back all the way down into the Etobicoke end. Moving around is Bonus. Rachel Pickett. Pidgeot. Drop passes. Right back onto Pickett's stick. She's looking for McCullough. Finds her, but the puck goes wide. Waddick holds the line. Looking for Pickett in the tip. Shot in. Somehow gets steered aside past the far side goalpost. Etobicoke still in possession. Looking to somebody in front. Bishop looking for a pass. Out to Waddick. Over to Bishop. Waddick and Bishop change places. Waddick wasn't expecting that, so she'll jump back out into neutral. Over to Megan Mossy. Dolphins are on a change, looking for Van Volsen to the far side. Here's Ishmael. Ishmael out in front, and that's a stop by Hicks. 24 seconds remaining in the power play. After the draw, Etobicoke still has possession. We've got Lazarou, Deckers, Frasca, Lewington on the ice for Central York. Ishmael down low, playing catch behind the net with her partner. Out for Venucio, and a shot in. Goes over to the far side for Megan Mossy. Around the boards and out. Here's Lewington. She's got a little space, shorthanded. She'll try to cut in. Looking for Lazarou. Doesn't work, but what effort by the Panthers, shorthanded. Out to Caitlin Clark. Now we're back to 5-on-5. Central York trying to work it towards the slot. That's steered aside into the near side boards, and that is going to be a stoppage and play for a hand pass. Going to be Van Berkel in the face-off dot against Vakari. It'll come all the way down behind the Etobicoke net. and squeak free. So there'll be a foot race. Van Berkel trying to catch up to it. Bonus right on her heels. She'll hand it off to Mackenzie Cody. Bishop holds the line as she'll pull in, weave around and shot in. Puck does squeak loose for a second, but it does trickle into the near side corner. Etobicoke still passing that puck around, out in front for Lang. Lang trying to find Bonus. It'll squeak out, and Abigail Pack's gonna chase up to it, trying to cut in, but Bishop uses the hip check and forces her off the puck. Not out, though. Telesnik has it at the point. She'll cut in, looking for Mackenzie Clark, who's right in front, but it goes behind the net instead. Panthers try to shoot it in. It goes past the near side post. Over to Clark. She'll fire. That trickles. Dolphins will pick it up and will clear the zone, and the Panthers will have to start back from behind the goal line. Actually, no, that is an icing call. So we'll have a face-off in the Etobicoke end. Looks like timeout is being called. Looks like, I believe it was timeout Etobicoke. I didn't see which way the referee pointed, but I believe it was timeout Etobicoke. In any case, timeout. Well, I can hear the coach from here. He's got lots to say over there at the Etobicoke bench, and I know Steve Dempsey's more of a quieter guy, so we can't quite hear what he's saying. All right. Just over 13 and a half minutes here in the second period. Etobicoke now up by 4. Panthers try to grab that puck after the faceoff, but can't hold on. Dolphins get it to neutral. Panthers put it back in play, but will have to chase after it. Lily Paisley trying to find it. Rachel Bishop's there first and sends it out to Renee Bishop. It'll come off the near side boards. Caitlin Clark finds it and sends it into the neutral zone and up to Lily Paisley. She's got possession of that puck as she crosses the blue line. Drop passes it to Lazarou. Tries to feed it back to Paisley. Intercepted. Here comes Vakari. Vakari will dump it down in. Hicks will hold on to it and then pass it off to Briar Deckers. Deckers up the far side trying to feed it off to Triffon. They don't get too far before the Dolphins force it back the other way. Nearly a lead pass for Triffon. She nearly had an opportunity in the zone all by herself, but she can't catch up to that puck. Megan Mossy behind the net, sending it to the far side for Box. It'll come to neutral for McCullough. McCullough gets it around Deckers out in front for Rachel Pickett. And it's deflected into the near side corner. Waddick dumping it down in. Ashley Miner will collect it as the Dolphins are offside. Venucio pushed off by Triffon. Ashley Miner trying to force it back the other way. Dolphins coming back again. McCullough accepting the pass. Piggott shoots it in. That goes over the crossbar. Dolphins just relentless here. Very confident with that 4-0 lead. Panthers want to score 1 and get the momentum shifted in their favor. Shot in and a glove save by St. Pierre. Now, I'm a hockey watcher. I am a Maple Leafs fan, so I know that a 4-goal lead can evaporate. I'm not saying it's gonna, but it is a possibility. So think positive out there, Panther fans. Face off to the left to St. Pierre. Venucio doesn't get too far with it. It's stolen away by the Panthers. Shot in. Pack out in front at the rebound, and somehow that's stopped by St. Pierre. I thought that was going in for sure. Cody trying to pass it off. Pack looking for another rebound. Panthers showing their strength here in the last 30 to 50 seconds. They want to get a goal here and get on the board. Up to neutral, Van Volsen versus Cody. Shot in, and that sails wide. Back to the near side boards. Lazarou trying to push it forward. Janowski getting in on the action as she pushes forward and over the Dolphins. Van Volsen. Lily Paisley has the puck, and she's pushed into the boards by Rachel Bishop. It'll bounce down to Lesnick, dumping it down in. Far side for Rachel Bishop. Over to Van Volsen. Van Volsen will lightly toss it into the near side corner. Just about approaching the halfway point here in the second. Panthers finding a little bit of life. The Etobicoke seems to be on board and squashing all of that. Bakari shot in. Nice save by Hicks. Rebound available, but Renee Bishop can't find it. She'll hold on at the point. It's poked away, only momentarily. The Dolphins hold on to it as it trickles right beside Hicks in the crease, and she puts the glove down on that. Another face-off here, just to the left of Hicks at Shapira for the Panthers. And Vakari for the Dolphins. Out to Rachel Bishop at the blue line. Passing the puck around. Box sends it over to Renee Bishop. Over to Venucio, and she'll fire. That hits a body. And Briar Decker is getting in the way of that pass. We'll get it to the neutral zone. Venucio will lift it. It will come all the way down. Right for bonus. She gets a shot off, and Hicks with the save. Couple of players go into the boards. No worse for wear. Venucio coming in. Will deflect and go the far side. Megan Mossy will hold the line. Sending it down deep. And around the back of the net. Out to Venucio. Tip in. Looking for McCullough, and that misses her and goes into the far side corner. Another opportunity here. Megan Mossy trying to drive the net. Panthers trying to get it out. McCullough now for Etobicoke working on the puck. Sends it to the slot, nobody home, and that puck is going to escape the zone and come all the way down. Icing is waved off, so the Dolphins will retreat to their own end and start right back from behind the goal line. Lang to the far side. Lang finding it. Lily Paisley and Abby Pack trying to push towards the net. Nice deke by Cody, but she can't hang on to that puck as it rolls off the end of her stick. In come the Dolphins. Another shot in. Rebound meant for McCullough. She can't find it. Rachel Piggott trying to drive the net. Back to Rachel Bishop in the neutral zone. And over to Lang. Lang feeds it down in as the Dolphins are off on a line change. Again, icing waved off. Out in front for Piggott. Piggott, whoa, looks for McCullough, and that's tipped to the near side. Janowski doing her best to get on that puck, but Haley Box for the Dolphins has it. Sends it back around behind the goal. Out in front. That finds Janowski, but Bishop has it at the blue line. She'll fire it in, and Hicks will glove that down. So it's been a while since a goal, so that's good news. Panthers are still behind 4 goals, but there's lots of time left. Keep driving, keep putting pucks on net. Make those Etobicoke Dolphins work for this game. Van Volsen drop passes it to Ishmael. Ishmael weaving around. She's tripped up, and that is going to be a penalty call, unfortunately, against the Central York Panthers for a trip on Ishmael. Passing that puck around, extra attacker on the ice. Out in front, shot in, and Hicks with the save. So with just under 7.5 minutes to go in the second period, Etobicoke is going to get another power play opportunity. Telesnik being called again. No, not Telesnik, excuse me. Who's in the box? Caitlin Clark. Dolphins are 1 for 3 on the power play. They did score the first goal of the game on a power play. That's scored by Renee Bishop. Looking for more. Fiona Waddick at the blue line. Passes it down to Ishmael, who remains on for the power play. Ashley Miner trying to find the puck and steal it away from the Dolphins. They still maintain possession. Ishmael still on it, trying to get around Van Berkel, and now Miner finds it, not out. Waddick to the far side for Rachel Bishop. Waddick passes it, but it goes to the wrong side of that blue line, so they'll have to retreat and start over. Van Berkel doing her best to bother Bishop. Waddick weaving around all the blue sweaters. Pass up to Rushblur. Rushblur trying to get around Pack. She'll leave it for Bonus. Bonus fires in on the short side, and that goes up and out of play. Exactly a minute remaining here in the power play. Frasca looking for the puck. Dolphins find it. This is Bonus. To Renee Bishop behind the line. Out to Vakari. Venucio holds the line. Cody finds that puck and will relieve the pressure, and that will come all the way down to the goal line with 40 seconds remaining in the power play for Etobicoke. Starting back in their own end. Here's Renee Bishop over the blue line. She'll weave around and fire. Hicks with the save. She collects that puck for the rebound. Bishop sends it out to the blue line for Venucio, and it goes by all the way down to St. Pierre, and she will leave that for Venucio. Out to McCullough. Trying to come in and shot it in. Hicks reads it all the way. That's Haley Box trying to get around the defense. What effort by Haley Box. Megan Mossy trying to see McCullough. Lewington intercepting that, and here comes Elizabeth Janowski looking for Lazarou. Fires. That hits Lang. Great effort by Janowski to try to get a goal here. Out in front, Lily Paisley leaves it for Janowski. She now feeds it up. Paisley collects that, pushes it forward. Rachel Bishop finds it behind, and she loses an edge and goes right into the boards. She goes hard and is a little slow to get up, but she looks like she's okay. Shot in by Paisley, and it goes underneath, and they get on the board. What effort by Lily Paisley. Not knocking the Etobicoke Dolphin, who seems to be down and out, and she looks like she's okay, but Lily Paisley gets the Panthers on the board. If Lily Paisley is credited with that one, that will be her 8th goal of the season, and the Panthers finding life with under 5 minutes to go in the second period and close the gap. Only 3 goals down now. I told you, don't count the Panthers out. Ishmael to the far side, taking a couple of laps, or small little pirouettes actually, or Dan is trying to chase after Megan Mossy. Out in front. And they bring it in offside. All right, after the draw, it's Ishmael. Far side for Megan Mossy. Mossy sends it in, and that's over the crossbar and around Hicks. Kira Johnson trying to work out in front. Ishmael's got it. Fires, saved by Hicks. Caitlin Clark trying to find a friendly stick to pass to. She finds Johnson. Johnson looking for Lewington. Cuts in. St. Pierre with the save. Rebound available. Back towards the net. It's going to get picked up by Lang. Into the neutral zone. Rushler trying to bring it into the Panthers' end. Briar Deckers now on defense. Moving it up. Looking for Janowski. Rolls off the end of her stick and right onto a Dolphin. Lazarou finds it. She's got Janowski and Paisley with her. Shot in by Minor at the point. Deckers finds a loose puck and dumps it down behind the goal line. Deckers will step in, trying to get around. She'll try the backhand. Lazarou trying to get behind that puck and get one past St. Pierre, and she fans on it instead. Vakari to the far side for Renee Bishop. Near side boards. Out to Vakari. She'll dump it down past Cody, but Cody finds it behind the goal line. Out in front for Ordanis, who feeds Pack. Pack trying to get around Mossy. Nearly worked, but Mossy finds it, hands it off to McCullough. She's pushed off by Minor and can't get a shot off. Great job by Ashley Minor to keep the Dolphin on the outside. Abigail Pack getting it to neutral, picks up her own rebound and brings it into the Dolphin end. Errant pass. Now over to McCullough. McCullough's by herself and she fires. Hicks with the save. Just over 2 minutes to go here in the second period. 4-1 in favor of the Dolphins. Johnson kicked out the face-off, so in comes Shapira. Piggott trying to get off that boards. To the far side for Megan Mossy. She'll fire it in, saved by Hicks. Trying to wrap around the other way. Hicks gets there in time, keeping that puck out. Puck will come out. Venucio slammed it in the boards. Over to Shapira. She had a bit of space, but she loses the handle on the puck. And the Dolphins will get it to neutral. Here's McCullough. Upended, sent back the other way. Box over to Van Volsen. She fires, and that steered aside and up and out of play as we are about to enter the final minute of play here in the second period. 4-3, Etobicoke Dolphins. Rushler will take this draw. It looks like they're attending to the net just to make sure everything's cool. All right, now we're ready to go. Waddick at the blue line. Ishmael has it poked off of her stick. He'll have to drive back past the red line, but they bring it right back in. It's going to be on the offside, though. Face off right in front of the Etobicoke bench. Ishmael grabs it, makes a big turn and brings it right back into the Central York end. Janowski doing her best to get it out. Can't find it. Over to Fiona Waddick. That's deflected out in front. Hicks has to be careful, but it is poked out of harm's way. Waddick at the blue line, sitting over to the far side for Lang. Lang fires and Hicks with the save. With just under 30 seconds remaining here in the second. Rushborough again take the face off against Van Berkel. Deckers has it, trying to hold on as we tick off the last final seconds here of the second period. Ordanis up to the red line and over to Waddick. Waddick taking her time back on her own end. Looking for a friendly stick and finds Ishmael. Ishmael bringing it in, cutting in, firing it in, and a glove save by Hicks with just over 3 seconds remaining. So a little bit better here in the second period. Central York did get on the board. Lots can happen here. 20 more minutes remaining here in this game. Couple seconds here. Ishmael nearly got a shot off, but not enough time to regroup and have another opportunity. So after 40 minutes, it's now 4-1 in favor of the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. We'll take a break, come on back for the third, and I'll have the couple of scores I have for the out-of-town scores. So come on back, folks.
I noticed that thing's twisted.
Welcome back inside the Stronach Aurora Recreational Center, folks. Just about a minute and a bit left here in the intermission. The only thing happening on the out-of-town scoreboard right now is that the Waterloo Ravens are up 4-1 on OHA, and there's no score between Burlington and Mississauga. The other games getting going: Whitby visits Nepean, that starts at 4:20. East Ottawa visits Barrie, that's at 4:30. Durham West visits Ottawa 67s, that's at 5 o'clock. The Cambridge Rivulets visit the North York Stone, and that's at 5 o'clock. And the late guy, Kingston visiting the Leaside Wildcats, starting at 7:40. But for now, we have one more period to get through here. Dolphins are up 4-1, but as I keep saying, momentum can shift. Panthers get an early goal here and cut the deficit to 2 goals, and we may have a brand new hockey game here, folks. So don't give it up just yet for your Panthers. They can still get into this game. Etobicoke is a very well-stacked team. Every single player on that team has a postseason commitment. So the Central York Panthers knew what they were up against coming into this game. We're all set to go. It's going to be Van Berkel on the face-off dot versus Pickett. I believe that's the same twosome that has started every period so far. We are set to go one more round. And we are underway. Right off the hop, Panthers will get a shot in, rebound available, but the wrong stick is in front. Ordan is trying to find it. Centering pass by Van Berkel is deflected and comes all the way back into the Central York end. And Telesnik shoving off the Etobicoke Dolphin. And that, unfortunately, is going to mean another power play for the Etobicoke Dolphins as Telesnik is called on interference. Dolphins are 1 for 3 on the power play. First goal that they scored was on the power play back in the first period in the early going. Let's see what they do with this one. Mossy at the blue line. Over to Waddick. Waddick looking for box. No, she'll send it over to Megan Mossy. Mossy back to Waddick at the point. Van Berkel getting in the way, and it will skip over everybody's stick, but the Dolphins hang on to it. Whoa, what a shot there by Van Berkel. She steals that puck away and gets it out of town, sending all the way down into the Etobicoke end. It's going to get picked up by Megan Mossy. It's going to get left for Rachel Piggott. In the neutral zone, picked off by Lily Paisley, but not for long. Pass meant to be sent over, and that goes up and over the crossbar. I believe it was McCullough looking for that pass. Waddick at the blue line. Puck will escape again, come all the way down. First minute of that power play has expired. Here's Megan Mossy. Janowski giving her the eye. Up the near side to Ishmael. She'll come in and get around Mackenzie Cody. Shot in, great pad save by Hicks. Van Volsen, drop pass for Ishmael. Ishmael to Rushbler, back to Ishmael, looking in front. Shot in, that sails wide. Up to Lang at the blue line. She'll dump it down deep. Backhanded pass to the far side corner for Ishmael. Looking for Van Volsen. Found her, but Hicks was there. A little bit of pushing and shoving as Caitlin Clark hits the deck. Play continues here in the Central York end. Lang at the blue line, sending it down deep behind the goal line. Etobicoke cycling it around, looking for Van Volsen in the crease. Lang now at the point, fires through traffic. Hicks sees it all the way in and makes a great save. Ishmael drop passes to the far side. Van Volsen finding it behind the net. Dolphins try to get it out in front, now on the far side corner. Ishmael trying to come around, and she's poked off by Deckers. Over to Rushbler. Rushbler wants to find Van Volsen. Deckers getting in the way, and Central York will take over back to 5-on-5. Here's Kira Johnson. Lazarou with her. She fires, but that's steered aside to the far side corner. Central York still has it. in the Etobicoke end, try to get a shot off. Again, that trickles into the far side corner. Janowski now behind the net, trying to get it out in front for Caitlin Clark. It lands on Ashley Miner. She'll hold it. Cross pass into the slot, but no friendly stick available. It'll pop out. 2-on-1 developing here. 1-on-1 picked off by Ashley Miner. What a great heads-up play by Ashley Miner. Near side for Bishop. Bishop sending it down. It's Rachel Bishop sending it down in. Rachel Bishop is the defense. Renee Bishop, who has the puck now, is the forward. No idea if they're related, but just trying to keep it straight. Out to Renee Bishop at the blue line. Tries to work around Lazarou. Pushes her over and she hits the deck. Rachel Bishop behind the blue line as that puck is being cycled around. Shot in from the blue line. That'll trickle right beside Hicks. Hicks stretches out the leg but can't put the puck under her glove. Play continues. Over to Rachel Bishop. She'll fire. It'll find the near side corner. Puck being cycled around again. This is Vakari. Vakari, near side boards. Shot in, looking for deflection, and it finds the back of Hicks and gets behind her, and the Dolphins will take a 5-1 lead. Shapiro will take this draw against Pickett. Central York is going to want to try to find a little life here. Looks like this one's getting away from them, but they want to make a good showing here in the final 15 and a half minutes. Far side for Rachel Pickett. She'll hold on. Off the near side boards and into the neutral zone. All the way back to Megan Mossy. She'll find Pickett. She's being held off by Mackenzie Cody. McCullough trying to feed it out in front. Goes by everybody to the far side boards. Shot in. Hicks with the save. Skips to the far side corner. Picked up by Mackenzie Cody. Megan Mossy will chase after it, but it's going to get called for icing against the Central York Panthers. Just under 15 minutes to go here in the third and final frame. 5-1 now in favor of the Dolphins. After the draw. Over to the far side for Mossy. She fires and misses on the near side post. Frasca trying to find it. Etobicoke just holding on to possession of that puck. Not giving it up at all. It'll come up over that blue line. That's going to get called for icing. Burkle on the draw against Rushler. It's won by the Panthers. Up to Ordanis. Ordanis loses an edge and falls to her knees. It's going to trickle in towards the goal, but just past St. Pierre. Cycling that puck around, and the Dolphins will clear. Dolphins will clear up to Van Volsen. Van Burkle getting back, trying to cut her off right through the blue into their side corner. They'll pin up that puck on the far side, right behind the goal, excuse me. And Ordanis feeds off to Van Burkle. Near side corner. He'll bounce around in front. Janowski nearly had an opportunity. all the way down, and that'll be icing against the Etobicoke Dolphins this time with 13 and a half minutes, just under, left here in the third period. Janowski in for the face-off for Central York. Bakari now in the face-off dot for Etobicoke. It's won by the Panthers. Minor will send it down deep behind the goal line as Lazarou trying to get out in front. St. Pierre had to be careful. Puck doesn't find its way in front yet. Paisley trying to get out in front, but it's taken over by Rachel Bishop. Far side. All the way up for Renee Bishop. She'll come in trying to get around Minor, and she's hauled down. No call coming on that. Battle for it there behind the goal. Panthers trying to pin it back there so Etobicoke doesn't get any more leverage. It'll come out. Here's Minor. And that will be an icing call against the Central York Panthers. Time winding down here. 5-1 for the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. And it looks like they will stand to increase their lead on the number 1 spot here in U22 Elite. They'll cycle around a little bit and come out to the neutral zone, and in comes Lazarou feeding off to Paisley. It'll go by her though, and the Dolphins will reclaim possession. This is Box, one of our goal scorers for Etobicoke. It'll bounce around and land on the wrong side of the blue line. Panthers will have to retreat, but here come the Dolphins. 3-on-1, looking for McCullough. Shot in, saved by Hicks. Lewington's got Shapira. Pass off, that's deflected and does not get over to her stick. Back the other way. Here's Haley Box. Looking for a feed in front. Right from McCullough. What a great save by Hicks. Another shot by Megan Mossy, and that comes out. Oh my. Central York not giving it up yet. To the far side. Haley Box dumping it down in and going off for a line change. Back up to Rachel Bishop. She's got Lang with her. She'll hand it off to Lang. Here comes Ishmael down the near side boards. Out in front, shot in by Rushblur, and that's deflected into the corner. Back and forth action. Feels more like a tennis match now here in the late going. Shot to the far side corner. Caitlin Clark trying to come in. Here's Van Berkel trying to weave around a few white sweaters. Out in front. Doesn't find a Panther stick. Ishmael for the Dolphins getting it out as we approach the halfway point of the third and final period. Far side. Come off the boards. Lazarou trying to gather that puck. Hands it off to Janowski and back on to Minor. She's by herself. She'll fire it in. Blocker saved by St. Pierre. Down in the corner, Paisley finds it. Can't hold it. Panthers will clear the zone. Back to Ashley Minder. Bakari will find it and hand it off to her defense. Up to Renee Bishop. She's got space, fires and finds the top right hand corner past Hicks, and it's 6-1. Hicks getting a lot of props there from her teammates as she's made some really incredible saves despite the fact that the score is 6-1. Dolphins looking for more as they are relentless. Here comes Trifon over the red line. It'll come all the way out to the red line. Ella Frasca sending it down deep. That's gloved down by Waddick. They'll battle for it in the near side boards. Frasca. Out to neutral. Venucio trying to bring it in. Rachel Pickett. Bring it around Abigail Pack. Can't bring it in. She's going to double back. Back up to Box. Box will dump it down and ahead to the bench. Rushblur now on the job. She'll bring it around behind the net. Picked off by the Panthers, and they will get it to the blue line and up to Elizabeth Janowski, bringing it in on her own. Ordanis was there with her. Thought about heading to the bench, but there was an errant puck there, so she decided to hold on. To Lesnick, up to Janowski, trying to feed it off to Van Berkel. Doesn't work. Coming back the other way, here's Rushblur. Rushblur cutting in. She fires. That's steered aside. Rachel Bishop now back in her own end. Up into the neutral zone, looking for Vakari. As they go back and forth again. Now in the Central York end. Here's Bonus trying to work around the crease, and she's pushed away. Rachel Bishop through traffic. It's steered aside easily by Hicks, and that's going to get whistled down. Just over 7.5 minutes here in the third and final frame. Now 6-1 Etobicoke Dolphins. Again, the Central York Junior Panthers are back in action again tomorrow afternoon as they host the East Ottawa Stars. Johnson, far side. Trying to work into the neutral zone. Renee Bishop bring it right back in. She loses an edge for her trouble. No penalty coming on that one. In comes Rachel Bishop, but she can't hold on. And Ashley Miner for the Dolphins will clear it out to the far side for Lewington. Lewington trying to cut around. Doesn't quite work. Now she finds Johnson at the blue line. She'll fire it in, but that is deflected by Renee Bishop, and she felt that one. Deckers. Down behind the goal line. Finds Renee Bishop. Renee Bishop down the near side. She'll dump it down and go off on a line change. Hicks is going to leave it for Mackenzie Cody. Up to Ordanis. Ordanis feeding it forward to Van Berkel, but it looks like Venucio is going to get there first. She's got Megan Mossy with her. Shot in by Frasca. Deflected by an errant skate. Behind the goal line. Venucio. Bodies flying. I don't know who's doing the pushing and shoving, but a lot of girls hitting the deck. Out in front. Pack looking for a shot, and that is going to be, believe it or not, the first power play for Central York in this game. Haley Box gets the call on the hook. Face off here to the right of St. Pierre. First power play opportunity here for Central York. Can they get another goal here just to make themselves feel good as they wrap up this third and final period? At the blue line. Cody sending it down for Paisley. Paisley will weave in and shoot it through. That hits a body, comes right back out in the slot. Lazaru to Cody. Cody taking her time, down to Paisley. Paisley looking, back to Cody at the point. Through traffic again, looking for the deflection on Shapira, but that doesn't work. And the puck will escape and come all the way back down. Far side for Shapira. Over the blue line, she'll make a bit of a turn, sending it down deep. Almost a minute of that power play is extinguished. Lazarou to Minor, back to Lazarou, shot in. Loose puck as they dig away at it, and somehow St. Pierre keeps it out. As some extracurricular conversations do ensue here. And there's going to be a penalty called on that. Looks like a head check. That's going to negate the power play, unfortunately, as Janowski's going to sit. Two minutes on the board there for that head check. So we got a minute 3 of 4-on-4 action, and then the Dolphins will have an abbreviated power play. Face off to the right of Hicks. Looks like Johnson's going to get tossed out of the dot. In comes Minor versus Van Volsen. First time for 4-on-4 in this contest. Johnson pulls it out. She's got Triffon with her. Into the corner. He'll come to the blue line. And out. Johnson to Triffon. Triffon waiting. She's pushed off by Waddick. Panthers trying to hold on to possession here in the Etobicoke end, and they're going to backtrack and hold on to that puck, and they will clear it out. 4-on-4 hockey again. Long pass up to McCullough. Shot in there and a save by Hicks. Not sure why that was an icing, as that was shot in on the left-hand side of that red line, but it's 4-on-4, so I'm not sure why that wasn't an icing call, but okay. Oh, there was 4 minutes put on the board. I didn't see that. There's 4 minutes on the board. Four minutes for that head check, double Minor. So a lot for the Central York Panthers to kill off here with just over 4 minutes to go here in the third period. 4-on-4 hockey about to expire. Central York has a power play now with just less than 3 minutes. Far side for bonus. Picked up by Van Berkel. Van Berkel, again, the Panthers are short-handed. Van Berkel with a shovel. She'll head to the bench, changing up for the Panthers. Van Berkel trying to intercept that puck as it's trying to pass out to Rushblur. Back to Venucio. Paisley trying to get in the way. Here's Vakari. Puck stolen away by Paisley, and she manages to get around Rushblur before she heads to the bench, and the puck will come into the Etobicoke end. 3.5 minutes to go here in the third. Just over 2 minutes to go in the power play for Etobicoke to Pickett. To the blue line. Shot in. Blocker saved by Hicks. Rachel Bishop in her own end. Up to Haley Box. Out in front for Venucio. Far side for Megan Mossy. Pad save, and Hicks has got it. 1:25 remaining in the power play for Etobicoke. As play continues here with time winding down in the third, Megan Mossy handing it off, trying to get it out in front for Van Volsen. She fires, hits with a save, rebound available, and she makes no mistake with the second one, and it goes over, making the score 7-1 on the power play. I believe that was scored by number 14, Van Volsen. That will be her second goal of the game, if that was hers. 2.5 minutes remaining here in the third and final frame. I know Central York is going to be disappointed. They were hoping to put up a better numbers against Etobicoke. Etobicoke is just that strong. So time to put this one behind them and go forward on to East Ottawa. They're having a fantastic season, and they want to make it continue. I believe it was Van Volsen who did get credited with that goal. 2 minutes remaining. Ordanis and the Panthers still battling it out. They want to see if they can get another goal. Ordanis with an opportunity. Easy shot in for St. Pierre, and she steers that aside. Ishmael coming in. Trying to feed it off to Bonus. That goes by, and I believe that Hicks got a toe on it. To the neutral zone. In comes Renee Bishop, trying to get around Caitlin Clark. Out to the neutral zone, Shapira's giving it chase. Lang will put it back in play at the blue line. Renee Bishop sending it down as we enter our final minute of play of the third period. So back to the drawing board for Central York. This one's going to sting a little bit. They were hoping to do a little bit better against Etobicoke. They will put this one to bed, and they will come back even stronger tomorrow afternoon against the East Ottawa Stars as they continue their season. Paisley coming in the Etobicoke end. She'll hit the brakes and look for Shapira. Here's Vakari, coming back the other way. Final 35 seconds. Bishop looks, sends it through. Paisley looking for Triffon. Renee Bishop just winding it down as we come into our final 15 seconds. They'll just hold the puck, and they'll let the clock count down as this game is done. Final score is going to be 7-1 in favor of the Etobicoke Dolphins. Again, Central York comes right back tomorrow afternoon. A 1:25 start against the East Ottawa Stars, and there seems to be some extracurriculars happening here. Things are getting heated. Not sure who threw what comment first, but needless to say, things were getting pretty heated. All right, final score here in Aurora. 7-1 in favor of the Etobicoke Junior Dolphins. I'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon to bring in the East Ottawa Stars as Central York takes on the East Ottawa Stars, and I'm looking forward to that contest. So thanks again for joining the live stream. My name is Sheila Gilroy, along with my partner today, James Battaglia. Keep the faith, and we'll see you again tomorrow.